Once I enter a public place, I become incredibly rude.
I don't know, our ancestors, who knows? Oh my God, they were so good for butt-itching. One rock.
How did you see yourself for the Oscars
You can't live your
night?
whole life behind your phone, bro.
Oh,
You're just not gonna, you can't do that. You gotta live in the now.
sorry.
You know?
Killed our sound guy. And all the Blyants were like, oh my God, it's the curse. Ended up coming loose. It was a giant boulder and it rolled down this mountain and almost sacred rocks. And they were,
But without any drugs or alcohol. I'm a big time puker, like Lindsay Lohan.
Jennifer Lawrence thrives in Hollywood's messiest corners. Over the years, she's built a reputation not just for her acting, but for stirring up drama, trading in biting comments, public feuds, and even fabricating stories about other stars. Today, we're diving into her most controversial moments. And yes, her unsettling husband makes the list. Let's get into it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I've always admired her on-screen work, but when I started digging deeper, the picture that emerged was very different. The spark for this investigation? Her husband, Cook Maroney. And every time I hear his name, I can't help but think macaroni. But he's nothing like Jennifer's high-profile exes. Unlike Chris Martin or Nicholas Hoult, Cook isn't a celebrity. He's known for marrying Jennifer and for his wealth. Jennifer's estimated net worth hovers around $160 million. Cook? Roughly $25 million, thanks to his family's profitable art dealing business. In the art world, that makes him something of a nepo baby, and it's his connection to that world that led to one of the most eyebrow-raising stories I've uncovered. Some of the art he's purchased hasn't exactly been well received, including one involving model Emily Ratajkowski. Took a revealing photo of Emily, blew it up on canvas, and sold it, all without her consent. Emily, wanting control over her own image, tried to buy it, but the gallery told her it had already been sold to an anonymous collector. That collector was Cook Maroney. He lied, claimed it was gone, and instead kept it on display above his couch. Naturally, this created tension. Sources say Jennifer was embarrassed when Emily indirectly outed her husband as the man holding that nude photo. Cook stayed silent, likely knowing any comment would make it worse. Eventually, a blind item claimed Jennifer convinced him to take it down, but the fact it hung there for so long says a lot. That alone would be enough to make headlines, but Jennifer's controversies don't end with her husband. Years ago, she proudly shared a story on national TV about damaging a sacred Hawaiian site and laughed about it. The truth behind that funny story is far from harmless. Those stones weren't just rocks, they were part of an ancient Hawaiian burial site, honoring revered navigators, healers, and astronomers. Disrespecting them wasn't just ignorant, it was a slap in the face to the culture. Jennifer eventually posted a Facebook apology, but it felt more like PR damage control than genuine remorse. And that habit of going for the low blows? It's a recurring theme. She once took an unnecessary jab at Lindsay Lohan, mocking her for getting sick during a shoot. Lindsay's family fired back, and it cost Jennifer more than a few fans. Even worse, Jennifer has been caught exaggerating, and in some cases fabricating, stories about other celebrities. Miley Cyrus, John Stamos, both later denied incidents Jennifer had shared as if they were fact. Her quirky persona has also raised eyebrows. Take her famous Oscars falls. The first one was endearing, but when it happened again and again, even Jared Leto questioned whether it was staged to seem relatable, whether it was an accident or a strategy. Repeating it made the charm wear thin.
Yeah, I got a stomach virus. And I was puking, and I like the poor guy. I had to make out with somebody. And we were like spinning, and I'd start puking, and then I would like do mouthwash and be like, "Are you ready?" Like that, licking my chops. Like,
Getting sick on set and having like a co-star, shouldn't there be like protections that person doesn't have to make out with someone who's clearly throwing up with a virus?
That's how you win a Golden Globe, my friend.
let's do it.
Best
I puked
puke.
yesterday. I'm a puker.
Did you really?
Yeah, I'm a big time puker. I think I have like nervous. I think that I don't stop working. I'm just like, because I'm a show pony. I don't have a choice. And so I just keep going. I think until eventually my body's just like, if we don't make her barf or pass out, she won't stop. I get like Lindsay Lohan like grade exhaustion.
Yeah.
But without any drugs or alcohol. I'm always in bed early.
Is there anything
but I'm
we
still
can
tired.
Anything we can look forward to in the next few minutes?
Lindsay's sister publicly defended their family, calling Jennifer's dig disappointing. Lindsay answered with a message about rising above hate. Subtle, but sharp. This pattern keeps surfacing. Jennifer's admitted to gossiping about other celebrities with cutesy codenames, like it's a private sport. Entertaining? Sure, but it feeds the mean girl aura she can't seem to shake. She's also told stories that others later dispute. She claimed Miley Cyrus told her to get it together at an Oscars after party. Miley says it never happened. Another tale involved John Stamos. When asked, he politely didn't recall it at all. Great talk show fodder, but when the co-stars deny it, the charm curdles into calculation. circulation. And those famous falls, the first stumble felt human. The repeats made people wonder if clumsiness had become a brand.
I've never gone out after Golden Globes or Oscars or anything.
Really?
I'm
Just
I'm
go
just
straight
so
home?
sick of people by that point.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I
oh,
get
God. But this time I was like, I'm going out. And I puked all over.
Weird, no,
Like,
weird.
there's this big fancy party, this
Okay,
Guy
gotcha.
Osiria Madonna party. If you get invited, you're like, super important. and I puked on his porch. So, and like, I was in such bad condition. And I look behind me while I'm puking and Miley Cyrus is there, like, get it together.
It's so embarrassing because one time she told Conan O'Brien that she followed John Stamos around at a party. She said, I started freaking out and he asked me if I was on mushrooms and I said, no, I'm dead sober. That is just me. I just kept smiling and being like, dude, Uncle Jesse. When John Stamos was asked about this incident, he was diplomatic, tweeting that he was totally oblivious. I guess he didn't remember this at all, which who knows, maybe he was on the mushrooms.
Nominated in this category for Winter's Bone.
Oh, there she goes. And the dress does look heavy here. Oh, she's down. Okay. At least she's got a lot of help there. There you go.
Here's the vibe I get. She leans into quirky until it crosses into prickly. A press line moment didn't help. She snapped at a reporter mid-question for being on a phone, which looked more smug than playful.
Now, she tried to defend herself. She told Mary Claire magazine, if I were Jared Leto, I would completely agree. Not great at defending herself, but trust me, if I was going to plan it, I would have done it at the Golden Globes or at the SAGs. I would have never done it at 2 Oscars in a row. Interesting that she does admit that if she was going to plan it, she would have done it at the Golden Globes or the SAGs. Why even think about planning something like this, like a fall? Until she's not. There was a moment where she came off kind of rude at this press event. It was at the Golden Globes, but I do want to kind of like defend her here too. This reporter doesn't seem like they knew what they were doing or what they were even asking her, but this clip does not make her look nice or friendly. And I feel like sometimes when you're a celebrity, you just gotta turn it on all the time.
Between deadlines and editors, a lot of those reporters are filming for work. Still, the exchange kept rolling and the awkward meter spiked again.
How do you see yourself for the Oscars
You can't live your
night?
whole life behind your phone, bro.
How?
You're just not gonna, we can't do that. You gotta live in the
Oh,
now.
sorry.
You know?
Well, a lot of times these reporters are there because they have to get the content for their job. I don't know if this is not I don't know what type of press this would be if you don't have your phone trying to film for whatever publisher that they may be from.
How do you see yourself for the Oscar night? And how was
We're at the
working-
Golden Globes. If you put your phone down, you'd know that.
She said, I remember when I was doing Hunger Games, nobody ever put a woman in the lead of an action movie because it wouldn't work, because we were told that girls and boys can identify with the male lead, but boys cannot identify with a female lead. She said, I see the movie come out and it just blows through everyone's beliefs and proves that it is just.
Then came her most head-scratching claim, suggesting she was essentially the first woman to lead an action film. Film history says otherwise, loudly. She later walked it back, blaming nerves while speaking to Viola Davis. Fair, but the damage was done. Confidence read as carelessness.
I remember when I was doing Hunger Games, nobody had ever put a woman in the lead of an action movie because it wouldn't work. We were told girls and boys can both identify with a male lead, but boys cannot identify with a female lead.
Oh, absolutely.
And it just makes me so happy every single time I see a movie come out that just blows through every single one of those beliefs and proves that it is just a lie to keep certain people out of the movies, to keep certain people in the same positions that they've always been in, and it's just amazing.
That correction came with a list of legendary names who'd done it before her. Angelina Jolie, Uma Thurman, Michelle Yeoh, and more. Even Jennifer acknowledged she wasn't the first, but the statement had already lit up critics.
Many female leads in action movies before her. She said that she did not mean to say that at all. I know I'm not the only woman that has ever led an action film. She said it came out wrong. I had nerves talking to a living legend, Viola Davis, which as you should.
But you're famously light and approachable.
Oh, thank you.
That-
I just generally, once I enter a public place, I become incredibly rude. I turn into a huge asshole.
You get icy?
And that's that's kind of like my only way of defending myself is just being.
Put the blockade.
Yeah,
and
just
stare
be an
straight
asshole.
ahead.
Like see somebody walking towards my table, just go, or like, can I have a selfie? And I'm like, no. That's like my only defense. So I don't really have it that bad.
And then there's the admission that turns most publicists pale. Jennifer openly says she's intentionally rude to fans in public. She frames it as self-protection, but it's a move that erodes the approachable image she sometimes tries to project. Her circle of admiration has also raised eyebrows. She's openly praised director David O. Russell, despite his track record of abusive on-set behavior, and Woody Allen, whose personal history is drenched in scandal. In an industry hyper-aware of reputations, those endorsements speak volumes.
Now, he is a problematic director. He has been accused, I believe, of touching his transgender niece. There were also incidents where he would berate actresses back in the day. He went off on Lily Tomlin, and it was really terrifying to see how he speaks to these employees of his.
Here, I'm just trying to help you. Do you understand me? I'm being a collaborator. I'm just trying to help you figure out. I'm not here to be yelled at. I worked on this thing for 3 years. Not to have some yell at me.
So there's a reason why George Clooney punched him in the face. This guy is not cool. Also so creepy that he allegedly groped his transgender niece in 2012. What is up with you, man? But it looks like Jennifer Lawrence has a deep affection for him. She also likes Woody Allen. She says that she worships Woody Allen, the same man who was accused of harming his stepdaughter and then married his ex-girlfriend's adopted daughter, his stepdaughter, essentially.
And the tone-deaf moments don't stop. One of the most awkward came on The Ellen DeGeneres Show, when she joked about her cat's gender by naming it after Chaz Bono, a real-life trans man, right on Transgender Day of Remembrance.
And one thing I noticed about Jennifer Lawrence is that she seems really insensitive. I found a report that it looks like back in 2014 at the Cannes Film Festival, she saw director Alfonso Cuarón and told him that she broke out her R-word scream for him.
I've never met a cat that you assume first she's a boy, because normally dogs are boys and cats are girls.
Right.
But she has such a masculine energy that everybody always says he. For the first week I thought it was a boy. I named her Oliver. She had a collar and Oliver and boy, and everybody's like, what's his name? That's just weird for a cat. So we call her Chaz Bono.
Yeah.
That's her driving.
Because those tortie cats, that's a tortoise cat. All 3 color cats are girls. Just so you know that for the future. Any cat with 3 colors is a female. Whoa.
Speaking of, I don't know how to do this little switch up, but I guess speaking of the trans community, since we were just talking about David Russell's trans niece, which shout out to her for surviving that. Anyways, in November 2012, Jennifer Lawrence appeared on The Ellen Show, and she was talking about her female cat and going back and forth with how she thought it was a boy, but it's actually a girl, and she couldn't figure it out. And she ended up just calling the cat Chaz Bono, who is Cher and Sonny Bono's trans son. So a little bit awkward that she would just make this joke again and at another celebrity's expense. And it seems like Ellen was clearly uncomfortable by this and actually tried to take a moment to educate her.
Ellen's attempt to steer the conversation made it clear the joke landed awkwardly, especially given the timing. In moments like this, Jennifer's unfiltered style crosses from bold into careless, leaving a trail of offense she often tries to smooth over later. And that's the thread through all of this. The controversies, the jabs, the questionable stories. Whether it's her own words, her choice of allies, or the company she keeps, Jennifer Lawrence's brand of authenticity is as much a liability as it is a selling point. The question is, how long can it keep working for her?